and welcome to Just Put Paint on It, your every Thursday and Friday show here on SkaredCast, where we sit down and we paint things sometimes. I am your host, your grateful host, Skari, with my wonderful co-host, Tanya. In every episode, we bring in an even more amazing guest that sits right over here and hangs out with us. And we chat, we sit, we paint, you ask questions, we interact with you, and you become a better person by the end of the show. That's how this works. So
that's a lofty statement.
It's transformative, okay? It's like this whole process. So thanks for hanging out with us.
I feel like I personally become a worse person every time I hang out, but
that's just me having a bad influence on you.
Oh.
Delicious.
We were just talking about trash talk and how I'm really bad at it. I'm practicing.
That was definitely a good piece. That was some good trash talk right there. You practicing good. You're making me feel I'm sad now. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm Skari. Thanks all for tuning in. Of course, if you like the show, make sure you watch all 20 other episodes that we've done of Just Put Paint on It Season 3 in the Just Put Paint on It Season 3 playlist, which is there. Hello, Alexander. I do see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out. Where you can see all the other awesome people that we've had on and put them back and relax and watch. Today, I am continuing to paint this crazy Hellion dude guy, which is coming along quite nicely, actually. I'm not going to lie. And I've done the washes. Now it's time to essentially bring out the life of the model. It's playable. Now it's about making it pop. Right, and so that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of sessions is highlights and blends and more washes and just kind of like bringing this model to life. That's my job. But hello, Tanya. What are you up to today, and where can people find you?
I'm rocking this like ghost-like look because for some reason my software isn't working. But I am going to do a little bit on the bases of my lead belchers, and then I have a big box behind me, that Dominion box, full of Night Haunt, so I'm going to pick something out of there, and then I'm going to start painting that as well.
Well, that sounds exciting.
That's what I'm going to do. But I don't know where the base color that I normally use.
That's also super fun. Well, I look forward to that. Now, introducing our wonderful guest for today before I go into another rant about how awesome I am. But, and then just spend more time talking about myself on the show. Oh, I like this shirt, by the way. It's nice and comfy.
You're talking about yourself.
He's talking about himself, yeah.
I was on purpose. Introducing a wonderful guest for today. Is it Maryse?
Yeah, I prefer Rhys.
Rhys, okay. Rhys, or ChickPaints, who is on Twitter, on Instagram, all that good stuff. So, hello, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And what are you working on today?
Hello, Rhys, aka ChickPaints. Everyone knows I'm ChickPaints. I'm alright today. It's really hot. I'm in the UK, east of England, and I am sweating. I'm kind of in between projects at the moment, so I'm waiting for stuff to come in. But I've got some fancy resin models to sort of chip on today a little bit. I'm painting a Chaos War Dog Carnivore, I think it's called.
Oh,
but
nice.
It's in many different bits.
I can see you have quite a few Titans behind you, or pictures of Titans. On the wall. Are you a fan of the big stompy robots?
God. Yeah, probably a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I would. Yeah, probably. I just decided to sell my soul to
Forge World.
Well, big stompy robots are definitely a fun thing to enjoy. I have a couple of big stompy robots myself. Thank you, Kyle from Gear God's Mech Shop, for essentially making me own a bunch of stumpy robots. I do enjoy them. Thank you very much. And,
I don't own any stompy robots. That's not true. I have Morkanaut and Gorkanaut. That counts, right?
Yep, yeah, it does.
That counts. It does count. It's a large enough model.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they are they heavy supports or Lord of Wars now?
Lord of War.
Lord, yeah, they've changed a lot of that, haven't they, to making stuff Lord
Yeah,
of War.
so sad about it.
So do you mainly do painting, Rhys, or do you do game as well?
Mainly painting, but I do play. Not often, but I had a game last Friday, I think. So yeah, I am a primarily painting, but yeah, I don't mind throwing a few dice, but a bit of casual fun.
Nice. And do you play mainly 40,000, Warhammer 40,000, or do you play other tabletop games as well?
Yeah, it's mainly 40k. I do play the tiniest of 30k and maybe Titanicus as well.
Well, I guess Titanicus would be the tiniest because they're small.
Literal tiny. I like them.
I love how
I've got a
Tanya
few to.
instantly eye rolls me on that one. Come on, Tanya. Come on. You can give me the little pun jokes about being small games because they're small models. Like come on. It's at least at least you can do, bro.
Well, I don't make the puns.
I do.
That's
roll
right. You make
roll.
the bad puns.
Oh, that's shots fired.
Ooh.
Hello, good morning, No Name. How are you in chat? Thanks for coming to hang out.
It's Dave, right?
Is it Dave? I don't know. I just know them as No Name because they have no name. I can't see their name, so I have called them No Name forever. So now they are forever to be No Name. At least in my circles. I'm really enjoying painting this brickwork here.
I want to know, how did your Hellion stone base thingy
That's what I'm
turn
working
out?
on right now.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
No. I haven't painted
okay.
since last episode.
What?
I literally we just moved, okay? So now the last couple of weeks
Excuses.
has been yeah, okay, fair enough. I haven't sat down and painted, okay? This is what I use the show for. To sit down
to get stuff done.
to get stuff done. If not, I would never get it done. I was thinking I played my Black Templars yesterday and I was
on the mini wargaming stream?
Yeah, that was really fun. And so
Yeah.
I can't wait to I use it a Judiciar, which is like a Space Marine character that has like a big sword, and I was like, I can't wait.
And he looks badass.
He does. He looks pretty killy, and I was like, I can't wait to have an Empress Champion sword. And that's what I was like, this what, sorry?
I can grab mine.
An Empress Champion?
Sorry, I've just got him right here.
Oh,
I've got another
nice.
one.
He's telling me that I need to mail his shit.
Well, then I'm one to talk because I literally am terrible at mailing stuff.
I tend to let it all build up and then.
Yeah, I'm terrible at mailing stuff. I need to just leave my house and go. But it's like, even just going to the mail shop can be a little bit of a panic attack. Well, not panic attack, just like it's like anxiety.
Honestly, like
for me personally.
I have to mail something internationally, and I don't know if you've ever tried to mail something internationally since COVID.
Yeah.
But it's such a pain because you have to declare everything online and
Yeah, it is a pain in the butt. It is a pain in the butt.
And it's gonna cost me $100 to mail this package.
Hey, Mr. Fish, what's going on? Thanks for coming to hang out. Happy Thursday. Hope all are well. Yep, I'm definitely all is well. Nameless says, yep. I'm assuming that's because they are Dave. Dave, the nameless. Nameless
Dave the Nameless. That is the most metal username ever.
I am known as Dave.
All of my treadmills are called Dave.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It originated from something, but it's lost and become game mythos. So I just call them all Dave.
Nice.
Except when my opponent is also called Dave, and then I just call him not Dave.
Not Dave.
Dave, not Dave.
So
I've only really named some of my tanks, and I've named one company commander.
Nice.
That's it. And he's Commander Kevin, because he's
Commander
of Play on Tabletop fame for taking on a bunch of Space Marines single-handed.
Absolutely incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
Commander Kevin is a boss.
He is total
awesome.
Chad.
Moving. Alex says, moving? Hashtag just put paint on it. Yes, I know. That's the solution to everybody's problems. Okay, so that's just something we say in the show, is if you can't pay your rent, just put paint on it. You don't have food to eat, just put paint on it, which isn't really, doesn't really solve anyone's problems, really. But we like to think it does.
So, do as you say, not as you do?
Yeah. Don't do as I say, okay? Don't do as I do, just do as
Never.
I say, please. Just do nothing that I say to do about it. Okay. So, there's like chips and stuff in the wool. So, I did the wool in Chowdon Granite, which is an old foundation paint that they don't make anymore, which has been fun. Then I did a Devlin mud wash. Devlin mud? No, Agrax Earthshade mud. Agrax Earthshade. And then I just did like a heavy dry brush of Chowdon Granite to like make it all pop a little bit.
Yeah, clean it up, yeah.
And so there's still like some areas that are like, I want to accentuate how chipped and like broken this like ruined wool is. So I'm thinking of taking like Nuln Oil. Should it be Nuln Oil or like more of an orangey color to like make the little like chips and like broken down places like pop?
I would just do a lighter dry brush.
Really?
Like a lighter color and a lighter dusting. Yeah.
Really?
I'd add a little bit of a wash. Try. Someone told me recently because I use Known Oil on loads of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Someone suggested I try the contrast bit of Basilicanum Grey.
Mm-hmm.
And when they told me, I thought, yeah, that's not going to work, but it does. It's better, in my opinion, than Known Oil.
Basilicanum Grey, you said?
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah, I can just right away.
Okay, I have contrast Templar, contrast Snakebite Leather, contrast Creed Camo, Magos Purple contrast.
Here, okay, let me make my case. Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you want to make the chips and stuff appear darker?
Yeah, so I was thinking of doing like putting a little bit of the darker color wash inside of it before I did a dry brush, if that makes sense, to make them like really kind of pop.
Okay, but you are planning to do another dry brush.
I am planning to do another dry brush.
Just because you can give the appearance of it being deeper and darker by creating contrast on the edges.
Correct.
By making it a drier or higher dry brush.
I just want some areas, because there's like the masonry is gonna have like the little lines of like the color with the wash of like where the like I guess the mortar is in between the stones, right? So I want it to be like a different color than the mortar itself, if that makes sense. I like just like make it. I don't know. I'm thinking.
Then, yeah, if you want it to be a different color, then you gotta wash it a different color.
Yeah. So would it be like a Devlin, like a Devlin mud, a Nuln Oil? Sorry, like a Nuln Oil, or like a Flesh Shade, or a
if you've already washed it Agrax or Nuln Oil, that's pretty dark. You're gonna need to put a color on top. I don't think that the Flesh Shade would really show up that much.
Should be like an orange. You think it's an orange hue to it?
Sorry, I was just agreeing with Tanya that you're gonna need.
So I think a Nuln Oil then would go, or maybe using like the Black Templar contrast to like put it in there and it like be like black.
I've been using contrast Basilicanum Grey. Yeah, I've been using this recently in place of Known Oil. It's all right.
Okay. I don't have that color.
Personally, would go with something dark but a color.
Like contrast?
Well, I can't see what you're doing, so it's really hard for me to like give you
advice.
But yeah, I would either go like a lot darker than what's in there, so like double up on a null wash, or maybe go with a color like green or something like that.
Green would give it like a mossy appearance. That would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of doing more like an orangey color, like a hue of orange, because then it'll complement the hair, which is orange, and then give
I
me
would
like
just say try it, but don't be disappointed if you can't see it.
yeah, like at the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter, because I'm
If you can't see it, you can't see it. You know, you can just paint over it.
so more than likely what I should do, while I think about it, is paint other parts of the model that I need to paint. Like start working on the hair a little bit, and then start working on the skin.
And when I'm really stuck, I go to the internet and I find like inspiration pictures to look at.
Nice.
What am I trying to accomplish? What's going on in this picture?
That would definitely make sense. I wish I had the patience to do painting professionally.
Do you want to see some classic Forge World instructions?
Oh, yes!
Oh,
They do such
no.
nice. They do such beautiful full color instructions. Yeah, I'm good.
It's like, here are all the pieces. Here is it together.
Now build that. It's what it is. I can show you the worst ones I've got is right here.
So
So it's
funny.
for I bought a Land Speeder Tempest, right? That's
Yeah.
it. This is the instructions. That's it.
It doesn't even have the pieces listed.
Nope.
That's
So
hilarious.
you can't even check to see if you've got all of the pieces.
No,
That's
I just
awful.
I know. I will say you can't buy that kit anymore, but that's no excuse for really shit instructions.
You know what?
And then it's like, oh, I love you, really, Forge World. Right.
Here is like a content idea. Somebody goes and buys all these kits and then just makes instructional videos on how to put them together, step by step. Because nobody.
No, that's a good idea. That is a very good idea, especially with older kits and older Forge World models. Yeah, when you just have here's the bits, now make that, and then move bits out. Comprehensive guides would be good, I suppose. That's a good idea, Tanya. Maybe that's an idea that you could do.
Yeah, but then I'd have to buy all that Forge World stuff, and I'm not rich, so.
Oh no, I'll just send you all the instructions I've got.
You know what I could do? I can't. My 3D skills are not that good. I was like, I could like build 3D versions of them. I can't build 3D versions of them. Because then you could just like screenshot while you're building them in 3D Builder. Be like, hey, this part goes here. This part goes here.
Oh, that'd be so handy.
I will
Especially
say they have gotten better at like color coding stuff and like the newer instructions that they've been doing. But at the same time, it's still annoying because it's more about the sprues being terrible. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, like, just for example, the instruction booklet for the Jumpy Dreadnought is brilliant. They're really good. Yay!
Oh, wow.
They're great.
Really good.
Yeah.
Alex says, I have a solution, Skari. Just put paint on it. Yeah, I get it, okay? You've already rubbed it in like 4 times.
Jim Jones? Is that Mr. Initiative?
Jim Jones. Maybe Neolac Oxide. I use it on stone and stuff to make it look like any minerals in the stone were oxidizing. Neolac Oxide. What is that? Is that a...
I like that.
Like
I use that.
It's a technical paint.
So, yeah, you can use it to get 3rd degree on like copper. I use it a little on some
green, Sigmarite, Nurgling green, Blizzard, Martian, Mud. I don't think I have that technical paint. There's so many like different paints. I'm just like I'm just a random person who likes to paint. Okay, so I don't own all of these fancy.
Think about the weight of the statement you just made. You are a person that likes to paint.
I do like to paint. Painting is fun.
I know, but would you have said that like 4 years ago?
No. I would not have actually.
Right.
I would have said I paint because I need to.
Right. I'm so proud of you. Look how far you've come.
I feel like I've grown a little bit today. and you have all been witness to this.
Oh, we are so blessed to have been witness to your growth.
To my growth. Thank you. Now a bow. Coolish Dan says more like Fudge World. That's right. And Wes Montgomery says War Mistress. Woot woot. Internet famous over here.
Oh God. Shut up. What is with you today? Why? Well, what is with both of us? Why are we so sassy
today? Holy moly! I think it's the heat. Okay, it's been relatively hot here too, so it gets to your head, and then you're just like, you're like, F it.
I feel like our weather has like switched.
I want some. It's 27 degrees inside today. I need aircon.
But you don't have you folks don't really have air conditioning, do you? In like.
No, it's not a standard thing we have in the UK. So it's a case of, for about 2 or 3 months we just sweat.
Well, but it's like global warming, so it's just gonna get worse.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Jim Jones says, yes, I am Mr. Initiative. It's like a turquoise color, and I use it to streak. Okay. Nice. Although I'd definitely be putting some clothes on, though.
Have you seen Mr. Initiative, though?
No. Maybe.
No?
I probably have.
He's a beautiful man.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, and you meant to streak your models. I get it.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Yuck, 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 yuck. That's where... Stop.
You're already trying too hard.
I'm going to paint this face, okay? Faces and
Jokes.
bases. Faces and bases
are like farts.
We all have them, and they all
If you have to push that hard, it's probably poo.
I've got some great jokes, but I just can't say them on air. So.
And that is when...
Send them to me in a message.
And that is when Skari wasn't able to book a guest ever again. No, but thanks a lot for hanging out, everybody. If you have any questions in chat for Rhys, make sure you put them in there. So, have you been painting long? You said you paint more. Like, do you paint professionally? Do you do like commissions? Is it something you do on the side? Like, what is painting to you?
Okay. Well, I've been painting like 7 years this year. Although
it
7, yeah. So 2015. Although maybe the last couple of years, I really got into.
So accomplished. I would have thought you've been painting longer.
No, I did have a little stint in the 90s, but I was at school and it was just that's just walking models in a pot of paint style of painting. I don't know. It was with the pandemic and the lockdowns, and I didn't have not much to do, so I just thought, okay, I'll just paint, and then end up where things have gone today.
Nice. And
so I sort of first found you, and you were like the ultramarine queen, right? Yeah. You just had the biggest ultramarine collection, especially of like Forge World and dreadnoughts and stuff that I had ever seen.
The dreadnoughts, by the way, look phenomenal. Okay, I like every time I see one, I'm like, oh, they look so sexy.
You know what I love though, more than anything, I love being able to see a person's model and know who painted it. And every time I see your dreadnoughts, I'm like, that's Rhys's dreadnought.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me that, and I just kind of, I love dreadnoughts, and that's an understatement, I know. And don't be surprised, because yes, I'm working on a dreadnought, and there's loads coming. There's more coming. There's always more coming.
That's awesome. So, but now you're painting Custodes? Right, you're doing like purple. Is it purple Custodes?
Yeah, my purple. My God, I've had a little break from doing them, but I'm hoping to get back to do some more custody soon. I've got my next model lined up for them. It's just, there's a lot of stuff in between that's got to be done first.
I love that we sort of like we were painting custodies at the same time, and we were both like, gold's boring. Let's paint something else.
I know, it's just, I like, it's nice. They look nice. But yeah, let's try something different. So I thought purple, run with the purple. It looked good in my head before I did it, and yeah.
This is Jim Jones says, Maryse, your ultramarines are beautiful.
That's really appreciate that. Thank you. God, do you know what? I've really until recently I've not really painted any for a good few months. Just been doing so many other things. But with all the new heresy stuff coming out, they're going to be blue. So more blue. Loads more blue.
Well, apparently dreadnoughts be good in Horus Heresy. Just saying.
I know because of the rights of war for the I'm very grateful that GW kindly send me stuff. So I've got the Loyalists and the Heretic Astarte books, and I was flicking through that, and I forgot what the question was. Sorry.
Oh, I don't think it was a question. He was just saying that the dreadnoughts are really good.
But... Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. Right. I know what you mean now. Yes. Yeah. I've read some stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, I can do that now. So yes, I'm gonna do that.
So was it always Ultramarines? Like you said, you painted back in the 90s a little bit. Was it Ultramarines back then too?
No, it's Space Wolves. Yeah, back then, 2nd edition Space Wolves. Like everybody at my school did just all the popular chapters. So I just thought, yeah, I'll just do Space Wolves. And then when I got back into the hobby 7 years ago, I started off with Space Wolves again. So I made the switch to Ultramarines because I started gaming, and then like a heap of people had all the cool toys that I couldn't have, and I was like, I want a Storm Raven and some Centurions. This was like 7th edition, so they couldn't take them. So yeah, I picked the Ultramarines purely just for their gaming rules. That was it really. Not for anything else, but between and that's like maybe 6 years ago, I decided to switch, and then just kind of fell in love with my blue boys.
Big,
the other blue boys.
Coolish Dan says, do you have an Instagram? I did put Rhys's Instagram in the chat.
So Instagram, so ChickPaints on Instagram, it's ChickPaints88 on Twitter. I've got Discord, all that kind of stuff. You just put ChickPaints in anything, and it will just come up with me.
So interesting. I started with Chaos Space Marines, but I didn't like painting trim. So then I moved to Space Wolves, and that's like the chapter that I love. Like, I don't know what it is about Space Wolves, but I hate playing them. But I love them so much. So I think that I'm going to so I have a bunch of like new in-box Space Marines stuff. So I think at some point this year I'm going to go and I'm going to paint some more Space Wolves. But so this is my old scheme. I'll show you my old scheme. This is one of the first things I ever painted, by the way. So this is like my old scheme. It was like super classic, like Space Wolves.
Yeah, Black Veins Company. Oh,
but sorry. I think I'm going to repaint them in my new scheme. So I'm not going to repaint these. These will stay the way they are, but I'm going to build all my Primaris stuff, and I'm going to paint it in like the darker kind of scheme.
I like the darker. When when I was doing Space Wolves, I didn't really like the sort of baby bluish color that they've got. So I went for the Heresy scheme instead.
That like steely gray kind of thing. Yeah, so when I went with this color, I kind of wanted something in between. I wanted it to be blue-gray, but I wanted it to be like really dark. So At some point this year, I'm gonna like probably put together like 500 points or so of Space Wolves, and then I'm gonna just paint them all in one go. Like I have a Redemptor Dreadnought. I really, really want to paint that. It looks so cool.
They are really.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that, and I might get an airbrush for it. Maybe just to like throw down the base coats a little bit. Maybe that's like the project that I try real hard on, even though I'm never gonna play them, just because they look really nice on the shelf.
That does seem like a good, fun idea.
That's a plan. Write it down, and then I expect I'll give you 6 months. Okay, so
6 months.
Until Christmas. That's generous. I think 6 months.
Well, yeah, I probably could, because right now I'm just in like. Well, I mean, if you go on Instagram, although you know what, I haven't been posting my painted stuff to Instagram. I want you bad Tanya. I have like 26 models that I've not posted yet. People are probably like, "Is she even painting?"
It's nice to have a backlog though, because you can just release stuff sporadically.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll probably just be like me releasing stuff like every day for like 2 months, just my entire backlog.
I noticed that my little model had a little tiny, like, claws and stuff in their hair, like little hooks and stuff that were not like hair in their hair. So I have to like pick these out individually, and they're very small. But I guess it'll look cool because I noticed the detail, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
This is a third party model, right?
Yeah, this is a 3D print of like a model. This actually was a 3D print that was released 10 years ago. Like, it's an old, like, classic 3D print. Back in the days when Games Workshop put out rules for models they didn't have models for. They put out rules for models they didn't have models for, yes. And so there was a bunch of companies that made models for units and stuff in their books that didn't have rules. And this one was the Baron Sathanix, or the Baron, which is like a Helion character. And so this company had made basically a stand-in for the Baron. And this is the model that they made. And I'd always seen it and looking at cool. And then about a couple of years ago, one of the somebody had sent me the kit, being like, "Hey, this is a present, like painted up and stuff." And I finally have gotten around to painting it, and it looks really cool.
Thanks, Robbie. So Coolish Dan says, Rhys gave you a follow on Instagram. Pretty cool stuff. It is pretty cool stuff, isn't it, Dan?
Pretty cool.
Do you ever just stop and like think about your backlog and you're like, am I ever gonna get through it?
I try not to think too much.
Yeah. About anything?
Maybe. If I think too long about things, I get really anxious about stuff.
Yeah.
Like I do suffer from quite anxiety, and that anxiety lends me to procrastinate a lot because I'm always just so nervous about everything that it just freezes me into inaction a lot of the time. And
Word.
And so I try not to think about things too much because then yeah. Anyway, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I feel like, so I am giving competitive wargaming up. I don't want to go to events anymore or anything like that. And that's always been like a pretty good motivator for me to get like big chunks of work done at a time. So maybe what I need to do is sit down and like make a spreadsheet and like give myself dates that I want to get like certain things done by. Maybe I need to like plan out the year for my painting. not so much be like, I want to finish this specific unit, but maybe it's like, I want to do 500 points of Space Wolves by this time. I want to do 500 points of Ogre
Set it all
Machais
out
by
in
this time.
paper. Yeah, it's because if you organise yourself and then you be realistic and then try and get stuff done, I guess that's good motivation to see your list get shorter and the finished models get more neat.
Don't a lot of people have don't a lot of people have like a little document they follow with like how much stuff I have in boxes, how much stuff I've painted, how much stuff I have built, how much stuff I have primed?
I think some people are really organised like that, and then there's some people who just go, nah, just forget about it.
Yeah, no, I'm like the organized person. So like I can see myself having like a little spreadsheet with like I could actually, this is how I see it going down. I'm going to take an inventory of everything that I have to paint. Like everything, all of my factions. And then I'll put all of that in, and then I'll add up all the points of everything that I have, just so that I know. Because people are always like, how many points of guard do you have? I'm like, I don't know.
I get that one as well. I don't know either. I did think about spending some time and working it all out, but it would take ages.
Right, but if you had, hear me out, if you had a spreadsheet, right, and you had everything in there, and then you bought a new kit, you could just put the kit in there, and it'd be like keeping a tally of how many points you had. Also, how cool it'd be if somebody's like, how many points do you have? And you're like, well, I have it written down right here, and you can like tell them exactly. No,
isn't that kind of what Kyle does? Sort of, in a way.
I think he actually does have a spreadsheet. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a. Yeah, I know some people like very much. They like keeping track of like the entirety of their collection, right? They go, my collection is currently at 10,000 points, and they'll put it on the table and they'll count it up and they'll be like, look at my collection. You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool. At the end of the day, whenever I do like a big game with Kyle or whatever, it ends up forcing me to kind of like figure out how many power level I have, because I put it all in like Battle Scribe, like calculate everything to make sure that I'm ready to rock and roll for like the game or whatever. And then at the end of it, I'm like, I've got like 15,000 points or 20,000 points of Eldar and like 10,000 points of Space Marines and a whole bunch of stuff, right?
How do you store all your stuff? Give me both of your guys' thoughts. How do you store your stuff?
Oh, well, I'm going to show everybody, but that's how I store my stuff.
I've got just boxes and boxes and boxes, and my bedroom is currently not my bedroom; it's my storeroom. Storage.
I try to get rid of stuff that is not going to get worked on very quickly. Like I have no shame, and I literally just want to give stuff away. Because I'm like,
that's what I've been doing as well.
Out of my house.
To clear my backlog, I've given stuff away to people. I know people who like can't afford maybe some stuff, or do you know what I mean? They're not in a good position, so I just send some stuff out. It helps me. I get rid of stuff that's taking up space, and helps other people. I like that's a thing to do.
Yeah, I do enjoy doing that as well, and it's more because I like. The way I look at it is, if I ever want to work on something that I really want, if it comes around to the point where I'm gonna get to it, I'll just buy it again. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, I'll just save up and get the money to get it again next time. And then it's like, and then the space and the mental like stress of having to think about it all the time is just something I don't have to worry about.
So I had a bunch of stuff that I had just recently. So I did like a learn to paint class at the university, the next town over, and they were not sure how many people were going to come because they had a lot of people signed up, and they were like, we don't have enough like models, right? So I like brought a bunch of my backlog for people to paint if they wanted it, and there was so much stuff left over. I was like, you guys, you have to take it. Like, figure it out amongst yourselves. Take whatever you want. Like, I don't want to take this home. I'm not taking this home. So, everybody just, like, took a bunch of models home. And I was like, this feels so good. Maybe I should do another one of these classes and give even more shit away.
The purge.
Yeah, and people are like, "Oh, that's so nice of you." I'm like, "No,
Yeah,
you're doing
totally
me the
doing this
favor."
altruistically.
But it
You
is,
know, this
isn't it?
is
It's like, yeah,
this is
Have you
exactly
ever
what I needed.
done like a painting class or anything, Rhys? Like, have you taught anybody to paint?
yeah, I have, and I was about to launch my own coaching service until my health went a bit
Oh,
downhill. I know, but I got some. It's something I will return to and sort out, and I've got there's a friendly gaming store near me that have offered me some table space to
Nice.
do coaching, and then they'll offer to advertise it for me as well. So when things get a bit better, I'll do
I
that.
will say, when you're teaching a class, you actually don't spend that much time painting. So if you're having like troubles with your hands or anything like that, you're not really the way that I did it. People like just picked their own models, and we went through like the
Yeah,
basics. So I didn't really spend any time painting.
Yeah.
I sort of let them be more hands-on with it, and then if they really needed like a sort of demo, I did have a model that I primed to just show different techniques on it. But I had a lot of fun
yeah.
doing that. Like, maybe I should do that again.
If it's fun, yeah, you should definitely do it again. I have looked at all the angles. It's just that it's quite mentally exhausting at
Oh,
the
yes.
moment. Think about it. So the best thing for me, I thought, okay, I'll just put it on pause and then
Yeah.
get back to it.
I will say, I was expecting like 5 people for this class, and there was like 25 people or something there. And I was like, okay, this is an actual class. This is an actual class in an actual classroom. Let's go.
That
But
sounds
everybody had a
amazing.
really fun time.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and like I really do see miniature painting as being like, you could look at it two ways. You could look at it like it's a paint by number. I just follow the formula that GW puts down, and that's cool. I can teach people how to do that. But I also really look at it like it can also be an art. So I started off the class by saying, if you want to do something other than what I am showing, if you want to experiment with the paint, by all means, just go ahead and do it. And one person just went like super artistic with their mini, and that like was so, I don't know, it just like made me so happy that they felt so free that they could just like do this really cool piece of art. So
Nice. They're like, I'm not gonna follow what the teacher's saying at all. I'm just gonna do my own thing.
yeah, like they came over to me after I gave like the initial blurb, and they're like, what would happen if I washed pink over this like seafoam green color? And I was like, I don't know, maybe you should try it and see what happens. And it looked really cool, by the way. Spoiler alert, it looked amazing. And like, I could see right then, as soon as I said I don't know, that like the light bulbs went off in this person's head, and they were just like, oh, I can do whatever I want. And it was amazing.
Yeah, well, it's crazy how much of an impact it can have when you just kind of like get creative with painting, right? And that's something else. Like anybody in chat, like if you want to share any experience of your creativity when painting, you know, like something or a technique or something that you tried that you weren't like sure about at first, but then you tried it and you were like, oh, this actually is kind of cool. You know, I'd love to hear about some of those and read about them in the comments.
And Mr. Fish has another really unique style of painting that I really enjoy as well.
Nice.
He approaches it like it's an art, and I'm like that.
Yeah. I'm a big paint by numbers kind of person in a lot of ways, especially as a competitive player when trying to just get stuff painted to put on the table and like, you know what I mean, and get it ready for like a tournament or whatnot. Just getting stuff painted is like usually just enough for me. I'm like, I just need to get this painted on the table. So like the you know exactly how it looks and stuff is like less impactful than like I just need it to just be like browns are browns, greens are greens. You know,
I'm
like that
gonna
sort of thing.
make a statement though. I think you're in a transition period right now between that and looking at it in more of a artistic way. Because if you just looked at it like it's paint by numbers and you just want to get it done, you wouldn't have asked us about like washes to achieve a certain effect.
True. And that also has to do with the fact that we've been doing painting every week for painting's sake for 3 years. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm learning.
You're learning and like you're learning to experiment and yeah. If
I
you don't
enjoy
like
that.
it, you paint over it.
That
It's
is
not
also very true.
it's not a big deal.
Although if I don't like it, I'll probably just get another model and try again, to be honest.
Well, if it's just one little area that didn't turn out the way that you wanted, like
At
you
the end
can
of the
just
day,
paint it.
I could, but I don't think I would.
uh, you just like shrug and go, didn't work.
Didn't
Move on to
work.
the
On to
next.
the next one. Because at the same time, I'm like, it's good enough to put on a table to play games with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's
But like just because it didn't turn out the way you wanted doesn't mean that it's a failure, right?
Correct.
Because you learned a way that you don't want to do it for next time.
Correct.
Yeah.
However, there has been a couple models that I have done for showcase, in the sense that I've like submitted them to like a little paint competition and stuff. I think I've done it twice in my life. I did a what was it? A warlock, like an Eldar warlock. It's one of my favorite models I've ever painted. Like, it looks fantastic in my opinion. It just looks really, really cool. And that was like one of my favorite models to work on and do. And then another one that I did was an Inquisitor. And back in the day, there was this Inquisitor that had like a giant like hat with a feather, like a flat hat with a feather, and then like a cane or whatever. We used to call it the pimp hat.
So yeah, I was gonna say. So he's a pimp.
It's a very iconic character, like Ordo Hereticus, I think, Inquisitor. I painted that model up. I do remember spending a lot of time getting that model and wanting to really make that model look good. Now, if I did it again with all the stuff I've learned over the last couple of years, I feel like I'd be doing a much better job in general. But that's just me. And then again, I do love edge highlighting. It's one of my favorite things to do, just edge highlight. And then it looks so good.
Oh man, like edge highlighting is like my zen time. Just like turn the old noggin off and just be like, I just have to paint this line right now. That's all I have to do.
Yeah.
It's like
it's relaxing. I find it
yeah.
seriously right. Put headphones on, music, and then put my head down. I find it quite relaxing. I used to hate it, edge highlighting, but
then you get good at it, you know, and it's like, and it's so satisfying when you look at it after, and you're like, yeah, that made it look good.
I feel like I had an advantage coming into it because before I started miniature painting, I would wear like a full face of makeup every day, including like crazy eyeliner and everything, and like basically it's the same idea, eyeliner and edge highlighting. So I feel like I had a bit of an advantage coming into the edge highlighting game.
Because you had to do it on your face.
On my face! Yeah, but you also, like, when you do eyeliner, you also, like, accept that it's never going to be absolutely perfect. And I think sometimes people go into, like, edge highlighting, think, like, oh, it needs to be absolutely perfect. But really, like, you're looking at one teeny tiny part of a model, and if it's not absolutely perfect in that teeny tiny part, when people look at the whole, they're not going to see it. So yeah, and you learn about that when you do that on your face. So
I'm really enjoying doing this cape. This cape is looking sick, okay? I cannot wait to show this cape off. I'm going all out on the blending on this cape, and it is looking freaking awesome, just gonna say.
You guys, I got third best painted at the event this weekend.
Ooh. That was your ogres, right?
Yep.
Nice. That's so cool.
Yep. I was like the third army that I ever painted. Those models are so old, and every time I look at them, I'm like, I could do so much better now. But yeah, they got third best painted.
I will say, Age of Sigmar events, in my opinion and in my experience, are a lot harder to get painting awards at than I feel like the competition is a lot higher because I find AOS armies are usually better painted than 40k armies.
Yeah, like the person who won had this amazing black Stormcast Eternals army, like with super crispy edge highlights, and the bases were like stonework, but they looked like they were like ethereal and glowing with magic, and I was like, that is an incredible paint job. And yeah, I didn't even know that there was like I didn't even know they were finished judging or anything like that. I was like, oh, I didn't put my piece up for it. But yeah, apparently people saw it anyway, so I still got third.
Nice.
Coolish Dan says, Tanya, were you a goth kid? I was not a goth kid because goth is like a super specific like
you watched Letterkenny? Come on.
No, I haven't. But I would say I was more of like the metal kid, if that makes sense. So like, and I still am like you'll still see me wearing like band T-shirts and stuff. But yeah, up until super recently, I was like very much like a metal chick, like the look and everything. Yeah. So you gotta have the eyeliner for that.
I could pull it off, I think.
Oh my god. Yes. Can I please do your makeup next time that I'm out? Because I'm gonna curl those fucking eyelashes. I'm gonna put mascara on them.
Jelly. But you got better eyelashes than I have. How dare you?
It's the first freaking thing I said when I met Skari in person was like, whoa, your eyelashes. Because they're so thick and long. I'm like, I want those. I deserve those. Why do you have those? It's not fair.
They were put on this universe to torture you. That is right.
I want them.
I have been in a couple of plays where my eyelashes were used prominently when we used to dress in drag as kids, and they'd be on play, and it was great. And I used to know how to use a nice set of good eye curler thingies, eyelash curling thingy, whatever it's called. I used to use one of those all the time to get them like real big.
Oh my god. I really want to put mascara on you just to see how long they actually are. Because they're freaking fantastic. Do they like touch the inside of your sunglasses?
Goggles and stuff?
Yeah. Me too. But mine are like, so I have dark hair, but my eyelashes are like light. It bugs me. Makes me so sad.
Volumizing. Maybe I should do some like 3D mascara, make them like crazy.
Oh, the fiber mascara?
Yeah.
You look so creepy.
I would. It'd be great. It would be. I could totally pull it off too. Creepy, Skari mascara time.
Yeah, can I totally make you like an alternative scene kid? You have the hair for it.
Yeah, you were telling me about that the other year. You were like,
the scene kid?
One of these guys, yeah, with the blue hair, or whatever it was, the crazy like hair and stuff.
No, it'd have to be black. You'd have to have black hair, and then like it's got to come down in a swoop. You know who used to be a scene kid?
Who was?
Alex used to be a scene kid.
Oh, amazing! That's awesome.
Yeah, he used to have like the hair and everything. Then he went bald. So.
Danny Blaze, I think welcome to the chat. Says, I've seen some gnarly kit-bashed Age of Sigmar armies at my local game store. Those people go hard. Like, one girl had a Daughters of Cain army, but every single one had a green stuff yokai mask, and it was nuts looking. What is a yokai mask?
I don't know. Once you Google it, it's like a demon mask, isn't it?
Oh, is it those like yeah, the demon mask style. Oh, that would be crazy.
Okay, but isn't the lore that there's like a Daughter of Cain unit? It's their lore that like they have their masks like essentially welded to their face. They can never take them off.
I don't know the lore.
It's your
know.
army.
I don't know the lore, okay? All I know is that they murder things for Cain. To be honest, I have just played Age of Sigmar. I haven't dived into the lore of Age of Sigmar too much, other than like Nagash and like listening to some of the stuff from Warhammer Plus.
Can
know what I
I
mean?
can I make a suggestion? For really like concise lore, you got to go to the YouTube channel 2 Plus Tough.
Well, then
It's
I
like
might have to
very
put on
like
this.
yeah, they're like short videos, super concise, where he talks about like one specific battle or one specific aspect of a faction. It's really good. Good stuff.
Sisters of Slaughter, says Shadow Sun.
That's
Get that
it.
mask melted on their face. Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. Sounds.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Look at
Age
that.
of Sigmar lore is like equally as dark and disturbing as 40k lore.
In some ways, I think it's probably even more dark and disturbing.
I'd agree. I'd agree.
40k is very
like
much like, oh, an entire planet died because they got virus bombed. But that sounds like a lot, like more mainstream than we melt our
It's not.
masks
Trust
onto our
me.
face.
I've read some really good books about extermin artists and stuff like that, and it's. I'm biased because I like 40k, so I'm just saying stuff. I'm not. Other than Tolkien, I'm not really into fantasy stuff. So I never. Like when I was a kid and I'd buy White Dwarf and I'd love to read the back rep, and if it was Warhammer Fantasy, I'd be really disappointed.
Did they only
Like,
ever have
Mm.
one They had like one battle report, right?
yeah,
what?
yeah. The back when I used to buy White Dwarf, but you'd get it'd be either Fantasy, 40k, or Titanicus, I think.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love the epic battle reports. They're my favourite when I was a kid.
The moment I would get a death mask put on, I'd get an itchy nose. Yes,
Oh
Dan.
no, that'd be terrible. I'd like. It's one of those where you're like, and you'd like, no, and then you'd scratch the mask and be like, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Marines get implants without anesthesia. That's pretty nuts too. Teen boys getting their guts torn open and mangled for new stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. They do. They like get those implants, and the apothecary's like, okay, kid, let's see if this makes your bones just grow at a much faster rate and solidify.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Anytime you read about the process, you're like, oh, this is horrifying.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Skari? Ha! I get it now. I had to say it out loud instead of mascara. Thank you, Xanthiades. That made me smile. And you call us monsters for worshipping the true dark gods. Loyalists, says Denny Blades. You know what? At least it's Space Marine is rather useful. Okay, they find people in the lore that want to be Space Marines, or they like recruit them or whatever. They put them through basic training. Some of them survive, some of them don't. Okay, if they don't survive, they die, and they are no longer a waste on society. If they live, they become a Space Marine, a neophyte, right? So as a neophyte, they go through the trials or whatever. They get put the different like implants one at a time, sure, and then they start mutating and whatever. And if something goes wrong, they lobotomize them and make them servitors. Okay, and then they're
Yeah, they come
useful.
captain serfs or servitors.
That's right.
But,
So then they
but
can.
then, but then if a neophyte becomes a Space Marine and then becomes Primaris, they're gonna have to do all over again.
It's true, right? You have to go through the Rubicon, Primaris or whatever.
Drink the holy Rubicon. Yeah.
Yeah, which okay. On that note, I don't care who you are in the world. They could have used that like to bring female Space Marines in. It would have been like just so much easier to be like, you know what, you can now have female Space Marines and have like and then it would be cool. I think that would be cool personally.
Yeah.
Like a badass,
Yep.
like Stormcast Eternals. They're both male and female. They could have totally done that for like Space Marines. Right?
It's funny to me because one of the arguments is like, oh, women aren't tough enough to withstand the gene seed
Bullshit.
implantation.
Women give birth. Okay, get wrecked. They're 10 times.
Our bodies change to house a little human inside of it.
It's like a mini alien that literally grows inside of a woman.
Not only that, like
anyway,
yeah. The man cold is a thing. Just saying.
Yeah, but it involves a super cool club and chanting. Wait a second. Yeah, you traitor. They'll have to do the exact same thing. Yeah, they all. I think it's funny because, you know, Chaos Space Marines and Space Marines are like a mirror image of each other, like quite literally. You know what I mean? They're just like the same but different. So.
Same but different?
Same but different. Same but different.
Should I just paint 20 chain rasps all at once?
Yes. It's cool.
Yes.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I would totally do that. Yep.
Would you?
Yep. I was actually looking at, they have an extra, like a box at Mini Wargaming with like the stuff that they did, like that has the Night Haunt in it. And they didn't actually, I don't think they got any of the Night Haunt painted from it. It's just sitting there, and I was looking at it going, I wonder if I build it, if they send it to get painted. Like, if I just spend the time to, like, put it all together, right? Like, would they send it off to get painted? I don't know, that was just a thought that I had the other day. And by the other day, I mean yesterday.
Do you want to play Night Haunt?
Well, I own a gash, right? I own a gash. I own a bunch of Soul-like Gravelord stuff. Like, I have... GW, thank you, Games Workshop, send me the box, right? So I have this crossbows, and I have all that stuff, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of actually doing it. And I have a tournament. Okay, I have my first AOS GT coming up in October. So I've got till October to practice and to learn and to like get an army and stuff like that, which is going to be fun. But I don't know if I should like borrow like the Sylvaneth, which I've been really enjoying at Mini Wargaming, and like play that for like a couple of months to get used to it, or build and paint like my whole army. But then again, it's like that would be the motivation I need to get it done, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then it's like,
then
I'm probably gonna rush it. So it'll be done, but it'll be rushed, and so I'm in the same dilemma that I always am in.
I mean, Sylvaneth are getting cool new rules.
Yeah. I think their battle tome's coming out, which is awesome because it's about time, and it's really cool to have been playing an army that was considered shitty, and then now it gets rules, which is cool.
Yeah, it's so funny to me because I picked up this army, almost all of it secondhand, and I wanted to paint it at like album artwork, which I did. Which I'm doing, and then the new book comes out, and I was like, I'm going to paint them red. I haven't seen any red ones. Then the new book comes out, and they're like, oh, by the way, there's a red faction now. And it's the OP meta faction.
Yeah, just such as yours. So first Custodes, then Night Haunt. Okay, what's your next collection so I can start buying stuff now for it?
Space Wolves. That's what I'm going to do next.
Amazing. All Dreadnoughts? All Dreadnought Space Wolves? Yes.
Yep. Yeah, very fluffy. Yeah.
Danny Blaze says, speaking of women in 40k, that new Cadian leader mum is going to be hype. You mean
I actually really like her.
Ursula Creed? She looks amazing. She looks like what you'd expect from a battle-hardened like company commander.
This was my main critique of the female models in 40k. They were in general good looking. They were in general very small, like, you know, lithe, I guess. And I was like, I And I think a lot of women want to play female models because they see themselves in that, right? And I never did because that's not me. And so now this model I really like because I can see myself in this model, right? Like, she's not young, she's not beautiful, she's not thin, but she's still powerful. Like, she's the leader of the Astra Militarum. So, yeah, I'm super excited for this model. It's the only model so far that I'm really excited about.
Cadian leader, right? Not necessarily Astra Militarum, like
Yeah,
Cadia.
she does the
Cadia.
Correct.
Okay.
But we'll see what the
Technically.
lore says, right? Because
Yeah,
we don't know.
it's true.
Yeah.
Shadow Sun says, I've been in a rush painting my MK4s for the Heresy launch, but my store isn't getting enough boxes, so now I have all the time from my MK4's pain. You can't edit a page if you never write it down. Better to do a mediocre paint job you can add to later than sit in a pile of grey debating how to paint them. Just saying. Which comes to the start of the show where we debated the hashtag just put paint on it, which you should use all the time on everything. Because if you're in doubt, you should hashtag just put paint on it. And I've just solved my problem, haven't I?
Just put paint on it. Am I gonna regret doing 20 at a time? I did 20 Gnoblars at a time. I kind of questioned my entire existence on this planet.
Do 10 at a time, but do 5 at a time.
No, I can do 10 at a time.
Yeah,
10 at a time isn't soul crushing.
And the thing is, normally it's like, well, at least personally, okay. Personally, when I look at it and I go, is it a blob of models? And this is in 40k as well. If it's a blob of models, the less detail you need because it looks good as a blob of models anyway. Because quantity has a quality all on its own.
Yeah, and like I'm looking at these, I don't actually think that they're going to need that much work. Right? Because I've Zenithal primed them in the red.
Yeah.
So I just have to go through and like clean it up, blend it out a little bit, do some highlights on the red, and then pick out stuff. So maybe I could do 20 at a time.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Yeah. I think I can.
I think I'm going to go ahead and do the wash that I need to do here on all of this. And there's going to be a light wash from Army Painter. Not a strong tone, a light tone. Soft tone, that's what it's called. Flesh.
You know what? People who can batch paint, I've got a lot of respect because I hate batch painting. If I like the most I've done is like 5 Space Marines, and then even then the last one I'm dragging myself across the floor to do it. I never liked batch painting.
I enjoy it. I enjoy doing like 5 at a time. Like I did 5 of these. Yeah. These guys, even 10 at a time, I can do that. But I really enjoy like the sense of accomplishment at the end when I can put them all on the shelf and like look at them all together.
Yeah, I like that. It's like when I finish a big project and it's finally come together. As well.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I am gonna do all 20 at a time. Maybe I'll actually post some like work in progress pictures as well. I haven't been doing that. I haven't been posting anything.
You should. I love to see them.
Well, when you're going, that's a beautiful thing about putting posts up on Instagram. It's at your pace. Like you get to do it whenever you want. I mean, there's no obligation there.
I used to, because a lot of people always say to me, "Oh, Rhys, you put models out really quickly." And at one point, a while ago, I did kind of start being a bit pressurized to keep doing that. But I'm glad enough that I'm old enough to just get a grip of myself and just paint how I want to paint now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely does help when you kind of give yourself those like ground rules. You're like, you know what I need? I need to not post anything today.
Yeah.
Do
it your way.
Correct.
Don't worry about other people. That's fine.
Yeah, I am still not very like confident in being a part of the Warhammer community. So for a really long time, I felt like I had to be exceptional and aim for perfection in order to be accepted. And I feel like I've kind of accepted that I'm not going to be accepted by everybody, so I just really need to do it my own way. And that's been really freeing this past year. I feel like I've actually painted a lot of stuff. And I'm finding that I'm painting a lot faster because I don't have to like worry about all the details. And if it doesn't work out the way I expected it to, then who cares? On to the next. So that's been really freeing for me, but I'm not gonna lie, like making content right now, like it's really hard for me, and I think because I'm an introvert, it's really weird to like be recognized even in some small way. Like I went to the tournament this weekend. It's out of town, and like one person recognized me, and I was like, well, actually two, but so my first round opponent recognized my voice from Forge the Narrative. And I don't know, I just really like anonymity, so it's like really hard for me to sort of work through those like feelings of weirdness.
Oh, I think it's funny because I feel like when I'm in the spotlight, I have a button that says turn on Skari, and then I have a button of me turn off Skari, which is like later in the evenings, and like I'm just like very quiet and kind of like I don't really talk too much if I'm like alone or just doing my own thing. And you've experienced that, you've seen that, Tanya. But at the same time, it's like I feel like over the last couple of years, I've really sort of like learned that I need to make sure I'm doing content that I enjoy doing, and not that I feel like I'm pressured that I need to do for other people's sake, if that makes sense. Because if not, I will burn out.
That makes sense. Yeah, you will burn out. I've done it. I started doing YouTube a while ago, and I went too hard, too fast, and just totally
burnt out.
Stopped
Yeah.
doing and I just didn't do any content. I still haven't.
I'm finding YouTube is a lot easier for me when I just make the thing, I put it up, and then I don't worry about like answering comments or like checking the likes or the views or anything like that. So like I'll put up a thing and then I might check it in 2 days, like answer all the comments, and then like leave it and then go back in 2 days and answer all the comments. And that's a lot easier for me than trying to make stuff that people like, I guess.
Yeah. Mr. Fish says, I feel I rearrange the whole shelf every time I finish a unit. Gotta optimize that display space. All my stuff is in boxes. So I have...
Oh, I like to look at my stuff.
I know. I have a couple of like display pieces, like my Vect, right, that I spent a lot of time working on at the beginning of the pandemic. My Revenant Titan, my Phantom Titan. You know, the bust that John the Cron gave me, like that he literally crafted himself. Which, by the way, I guess I'll show it off here because this is not something that I've shown off yet. But this was a gift for Christmas from John the Cron. He literally crafted this for me, and I got to paint it.
John's so sweet.
He literally made this out of like clay. It's literally like, and then I
like
painted
10 pounds.
It's heavy. It's like an Archon bust. It's so cool. So I painted it. Look at that. Looks so neat. Archon Skari. So I literally have this like bust. You know, so I've like really painted some stuff. But I've only displayed a few things. Most of my stuff is in boxes because of the storage. Like I technically am a studio, and I have like 4 or 5 armies, and I can't just like display them all. I don't have enough. I don't have enough space. It's a box, okay? Go in a box. Jim Jones says, I'm expanding my son's successor chapter, Space Wolves. I added 20 Wolf Guard with jump packs, and I'm having a lot of fun playing them. Only 50-50 win rate, but it's really fun to just crush or get crushed. No middle ground.
I don't even know what my win rate is in Age of Sigmar right now.
Yeah, well, you've stopped counting. You're just playing for the sake of playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Phoenix says, "What I do as an introvert. I hide in the shadows until I've had alcohol. Then bother everyone with my weird opinions. It's all or nothing." It's a great
Yeah,
description.
I'm a massive introvert as well. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not shy. I don't feel like I'm
Yeah, no,
shy.
you're right. It's not the shyness or anything like that. It's something.
It's like
It's
you gotta pick your battles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've
yeah,
had to actually tell like I've had some friends that like want more out of me, and I have to tell them like I only have so many hours a week for social interaction. I really need to make sure that I'm rationing that out for like equal parts like family and friends. Yeah. But it's not because I don't like hanging out with people. It's just because like I have incredible social anxiety, and living with anxiety in social situations, even if you're managing it, it takes like a lot of energy out of you to constantly be like acknowledging your feelings and like working past them.
Yeah.
So I need lots of time to like rest and edge highlight to really get my
Edge
energy back.
highlighting definitely
Yeah.
helps. Mr. Fish says, "I feel that, Skari. My ex called it Joshy Showtime. My real name is Josh. Well, nice to meet you, Josh. But it was like a superpower for dealing with people in crowds."
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, at the same time, it's like, I don't mind it. It's like it is draining, but I don't like it's subconscious, in a lot of the ways. It's not something that I just think about being like, I'm gonna turn on right now. It just happens, But a lot of the times, like in crowds and stuff, like if I have a party at the house or like we have people over, like that's like the worst for me. Like I'm literally just like, you might not think it because I tend to be very outwardly when I'm doing content and things like that. But like, I'll just like hide in the basement away from people. I'm like, I don't want to see people. Like, it just like makes me nervous, and I just want to like hang out in my own little quiet space of the universe. Kind of like doing my own thing. That's just me. That's just me.
Like I'm good in a crowd because like if I'm in a crowd full of people, that's like anonymity for me, right? Like I don't, and I'm really so like I actually really like hanging out with Alex McDougall because he is the biggest social butterfly that I know, right? So I can just be like the dorky introverted hanger on, and I don't have to drive conversation. I don't have to go out and meet people. I don't have to do anything because he's doing all of that work for me. And that's great. And that's like the ideal situation for me in like social engagements, is to find whoever is like the loudest, most social person and just like hang on to their like coattails for the ride. That's the best.
That makes sense.
yeah. There's I've been going to this same club for years, gaming, and I still get social anxiety. I've been there for years. I know the people, but there was one guy there who's very similar. He's very loud and doesn't mind being loud around people. And I just kind of became friends with him, and then just I know what you mean. It works.
Right? Because you can just be like, I don't have like any of this pressure. I don't have to go out and like go out of my comfort zone too much.
You
I
can
can
enjoy
just sit here and listen. Yeah,
Yeah.
and nod. Yeah. So Phoenix says, same with the anxiety. Married a super extrovert and took a while for her to understand why I'm like the way I am. She also helped me come out a lot more too. Yeah. I mean, I don't have problems like with one-to-one conversation. but integrating into an existing group is sometimes a little bit difficult if I don't have like an extrovert to sort of like grab me and bring me in, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't been on Play on Tabletop for a while. Alex? He's only been on once, I think.
Oh, this is the fun time with that. When I start getting this green color to like pop, oh baby, this is when
The
I
jade
know.
color?
No. The highlights, because I've been trying to figure out like a good suit. So I do Incubi Darkness as like the main like highlight because it's like, you know, the darkest of the sort of like colors. And then I've been using the darkest of the colors. Then I've been using Caliban Green, right? Which is like the next color. Normally I just go straight for like a Sabrite Green or something to like pop the color. However, I'm going to try like a midway step of Waystone Glow. I'm going to do
Yeah, I like
Waystone,
that.
and then I'm going to do the Sabrite Green. So I'm essentially going to like try and make it like super pop. So I want it to be like crazy highlighted, you know, that's like you know, like do a, I don't know, it's going to be a little bit more time to get the highlight done, but I want that like that armor paneling to like come out like really hefty looking. Anyway, that's
I
my
highlight my green with Gauss Blaster Green.
thought.
That's
Nice.
one of my favourite highlighting paints now.
I do have some Gauss Blaster Green over here because that is like some bright highlight color.
It's very bright. Yeah, I mean, you know, I love very bright highlights, so I always go for highest one.
Nice. I kind of like that idea. Like it's staring at me, so I might end up using it somewhere as well because I think that would be kind of cool. But
I feel like I need to embrace like taking my highlights a bit higher. Like I need to just like
to make it pop, sort of thing.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like sometimes my highlights are not like they don't have enough contrast. If that makes sense. Like not
Yeah,
the paint.
mine used to be like that. I would highlight something, and then you can't see it, or it's because it's the color, isn't it? It's because I used to start edge highlighting with ultramarines. I started out with Calgar blue, and then I went to rust grey, and then I went to Fenrisian grey, and then I went to blue horror, which is where I'm at now. So I just got brighter as I went along. I don't know why. I just kind of happened, manifested.
It's your aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's like it's super cool, and I think that's why I don't think that I would enter a competition, because I feel like at the highest levels of painting competitions, everything sort of starts to look the same in a lot of cases, and I really want to eventually develop a style where people will see it and be like, oh, that's Tanya's painting.
Yeah.
That's just so much cooler to me. So that's what I'm working on, is sort of like establishing a style for myself.
Nice.
And that's why I admire Rhys's painting so much, because every time I see it, I don't even need to see who's posted it. I know it's yours. And that's so neat.
Now I've been told. I had no idea until someone said to me that they can recognize my models without seeing my name. I was like, oh, it's really nice.
Yeah. There's one like really high level painter that when I see his models, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Sam Lens model. He somehow sort of like, I guess, I mean, he's a masterful painter, but he still has his own style, and I just really, really admire
it's like a
that.
signature, right?
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, it's really
and
neat.
he wins a ton of stuff too. But he's also an illustrator, so maybe that's why. Maybe.
Just painting is illustration in motion. Well, we are coming towards the end of the show, Rhys. You know, it's been an hour and a half. It's just flown by.
I've literally just finished what I was doing as well. So perfect,
It's
perfect
like it
timing.
was perfect timing.
Yes.
Best part about painting events is meeting all the other painters and getting feedback, and I love it. It's a Shadow Sun. Nice, that's fantastic. Well, I just want to say, Rhys, thank you so much for coming in. Why don't you tell folks at home where they can find you if they're interested in seeing more of your lovely work, if you have anything coming up, what they can expect, and yeah, we'll finish up with that today.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for having me on. It's been nice to chat to both of you. Yeah, you can find me Instagram and Twitter. Just put in ChickPaints. There's some links on my Instagram to go to my Discord. What have I got coming up? I'm not allowed to say.
I can't talk about it. Okay, fair enough.
I'm being coy. I've got some nights to do. This is like this year. It's the year of nights. So I've got some. I've done a few chaos ones. I've got some loyalist ones to add.
Oh, very cool. I love it. Knights be stompy. So I will be putting a link down in the comments below, so make sure you head over and check it out. But thanks a lot for coming on. This has been really fun.
Yeah, enjoyed stuff. Thank you.
Tanya, before we finish up, why don't you direct people to your stuffs?
Okay, well, you can find me on Instagram. That's at the.warmistress. I promise that I will start posting more painted stuff here because I have lots to post. You can also find me on YouTube. I just released a video yesterday about screening, so you can check that out. You can find me on Forge the Narrative podcast. New episodes out every Saturday. And you can find me on my Patreon Discord if that is something that you are inclined.
Amazing.
And that's where you can find me.
And of course, the link will be down in the description below. A huge shout out to all of you. Thanks for watching. Of course, let me know down below what your favorite Dreadnought is, because I just want to know, which is your favorite Dreadnought? In the comments. If you like more of this content, you can always support me directly on Patreon to help me do more content like this. Other than that, thanks a lot, everybody. I've been Skari, your Grateful Host. It's been Tanya, this is Rhys. And we've signing off until next time. And don't forget, the solution to all your problems is very simple. Hashtag, just put paint on it! Or as we like to say in other languages,
Pintalo.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, as the Falcon would say. Bye-bye.